Hello, my name is Jennifer Lopez, and this is my first ever podcast. Um, this is literally one of the only times I've ever tried doing this sort of thing. It's something I've always been interested in. I don't have a specific, like, genre of podcast I'm gonna be. Um, it's kind of just whatever I have on my mind that day or night or whenever it is I decide to record it with my schedule because I am a college student, which means I have gaps of time where I'm free or gaps of time where I'm completely busy, back to back, don't have time for anything, not even eating, much less sleeping. Um, so yeah, I guess whenever I find the time to come along and speak for a while, I'll do it. Right now, in the background, as you can hear, I'm listening to Hosier's newest album, Wasteland Baby. Um, it's track, I believe. Let me check for a moment. 13. There's like 14 songs. This is Sunlight. I've always like considered myself to be a very avid music listener. I try to have a very broad music taste, although if you were to look in my phone and my playlists, you'd see it's very similar, although the range is a little different. I have things that could be considered oldies, 50s and 60s music. Then I also have pop music. I have soundtracks. I have plenty of soundtracks. I have the Black Panther soundtrack. I have the soundtrack to Coco. And then there's instrumentals, there's classical music. I have a few bandas in there, not like norteñas or anything like that. Whatever Zuelo and Intocable could be, that's what I have. I also have bachata, but literally it's just aventura. I have like two Cumbia King songs on there, like Speedy Gonzalez and Chiquilla or something like that. Something like that. Yeah, and I've been listening to a lot of like rap, although it's not like the rap you hear on the radio. It's more of like the more mainstreamed, I don't listen to just any type of rap, which is like ASAP Rocky's LSD or Tyler the Creator's Flower Boy, things like that. There's not very many outlandish things on there. I will admit that. I could definitely broaden my music taste. I mean, I've always had like older bands in there. Like, I love Fleetwood Mac so much. Stevie Nicks means the world to me, and also like pre-Stevie, obviously. But yeah, like I don't know. I think I like my music taste as it is. I I always try to like, I don't want to say put people on new music, and I hate saying that because it makes me sound so fucking full of myself and pretentious, and I do not like that. But I guess in a way I do. I like introducing people to a song they haven't heard before because they're like, "Oh my god, I had no idea something like this existed. This is so cool." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just like Steve Lacy." And did you know that he recorded this entire EP on his phone, and that he started touring with the internet right after he graduated high school, and that he got a Grammy nomination for working on a song on Kendrick Lamar's Damn? Like, oh my god, did you know that? And they're like, what? That's so cool. I want a TED Talk because Steve Lacy has a TED Talk. Yeah, like just things like that. I guess that's why I decided to go into a career involving music, because I've always had this huge love for music, but I don't want it to just be a music appreciation class. I want it to be way more than that. I want it to be something meaningful. I want to make an impact. And I guess there are many ways that I could technically do that. I was in theater for a couple of years, and I guess that's all that I envisioned myself doing, but I didn't think that I would be doing it outside of high school. And I'm not. I've only been considering it lately. But when I go back and I see their shows and I talk to my old directors, I realize that I still have this love for it. So maybe that's something for the future, something I could definitely invest time in. At the moment, I want to dedicate myself to my audio engineering. I want to get better. I want to learn more. I want to get to a place where I feel confident. And I think that's like a good goal to set for myself, seeing as I work at a different pace than my peers, because some of them have this experience that they've been using all of this technology since high school, or some of them went to community college to get their associates and, do some of their own mixing and editing on their own, or having mentors, and I'm coming in with zero experience. So that's definitely I don't know, that definitely puts a damper on my spirit at times, but I think that's okay. I think it's great that I don't have experience, because it means I can absorb all this information and turn it into something I can use. It's so fascinating to me how this technology can be manipulated and used to make beautiful things. Like, that's what really brought me to the program in the first place. And I'm excited as hell. I'm excited as hell for there to be a point where I do this and I don't think twice about it. I don't feel nervous when I'm looking at an audio track inside of a DAW and think, what the fuck do I do with that? Or how the hell do I set up a microphone again? Oh no, the angles have to be right. The centimeters, inches. I don't know. I just don't like feeling that way, and I feel like that way very often, seeing as it's a very male dominated profession from what I know. I don't know a lot of female audio engineers. There are very few in the program at the moment, probably 5 to my knowledge. And some of them are upperclassmen at this point. So I think it's going to be very interesting to, I don't know, see it from my own perspective. I've gotten this far, and I think that means something. It is only my second semester, so I can't say much. But my last semester was pretty rough. I wasn't in the right headspace. The music classes are what threw me off the most, because I know this is music, but the theory of music, all that goes into it, like, that scares the hell out of me, because I know I need to know it. But when I don't know things that are complicated and I have to learn those things and I still don't have a good understanding of them, I go crazy. Like, I start pushing myself into a corner, like, thinking all these awful things about myself, like, oh, you can't even understand what that means. Wow. And then that just affects how I approach other things. Like, I can't be on academic probation forever, but it sure does feel like it sometimes. I see all my other, like, peers, like, advancing on and talking about how, oh, this is so difficult. I mean, do you know what this is like? Da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, no, I don't. And they're like, oh yeah, I forgot. And it's like the new, I probably shouldn't mention this is awkward. I don't know. I'm trying to get to a better place. I'm gonna start looking into everything more, doing some outside reading, doing some outside learning, asking more questions, playing around with softwares more, getting some experience. And I think that's like a great place to start. And it is only 1 in the morning, almost like 1:30 in the morning, but I feel confident. I, at this point in time, feel confident in myself to get somewhere. Okay, that's an album change. The Japanese House's new album, Good at Falling. That was the intro. Yeah, I want to make beautiful things. I don't even know what genre I would do, but I think that's the exciting part. I'm willing to learn. But yeah, other than just sound recording technology, I'm interested in plenty of things. Like I mentioned theater earlier, and my love for that, but there's also something that I've discovered upon coming here, which is LULAC, the League of United Latin American Citizens. And I am currently in a collegiate chapter of LULAC, but I found out when I came here that it's a national organization that has been around since like the 1920s. And that's insane to me. It's one of the oldest standing organizations. Like, we're in the 90th year right now, and I think that's so cool. Like, fighting for people's rights, I think that's amazing. Like, I have always been one to stay updated on what's happening in the news, but ever since I came here, I stay extra attentive because I realize now that what happens in the government can affect how I'm living. It can affect my family, can affect my brothers and sisters when they grow up, and their kids and their kids' kids. All these laws and policies and things, they are important. You should always stay updated. And I guess that's another thing. Like, I realize that ignorance isn't bliss, because looking away from something and pretending it isn't happening does not stop it from happening. It's just gonna keep going, and it's gonna keep going until you start to do something about it, until you want to make a change. And I think that's why I am so excited about being in LULAC. I don't know, it just makes me very happy. It makes me feel like I'm doing something bigger for the community. It feels like I'm a part of something bigger than I even know what to do with, like something bigger than myself, and I love that feeling. I love being involved, and I think this is the best way I can do it. I'm the civil rights chair, and I'm already getting people, new members. I've been a member since last semester. I've been officially initiated since Wednesday. But I'm already having new members asking to join my committee. And I think that's such a cool feeling. I don't know. Makes me feel like really important, and makes me feel like I have people on my side to keep the organization informed, to keep the general members informed. I think it's great. And elections are coming up soon, so hopefully I can get a chance to show the organization what I can do or what I'm capable of. But yeah, I am really excited about that. I've met some amazing people. The current president, we're in these things called familias, which is pretty much like a big and little. And he's my big, and I take a lot of advice and guidance from him. And yeah, I think it's definitely going to benefit me in the coming years in my college career. I think it's a very exciting time. Yeah, I've met a number of people through LULAC, and I'm excited to say that there's some great people that I think could do some great things. They're very different, and I craved that sense of community when I left home and came to SFA, because I genuinely thought that I wasn't gonna see anybody that looked like me here. I was really scared. I was like, oh no, this can't be happening. I'm gonna be away from home. Not that I'm like that super duper close to my family, but they're there, and if I need them, I could just like go and be like, hey, can you please give me a home cooked meal? I'm dying. Yeah. I didn't think I'd have that, but when I came here and I was looking at organizations to join, I saw LULAC and I'm like, oh, that's really great. Like a Latino or Latinx organization that is actually striving to make a change in the community. That's amazing. They got National Youth Council of the Year. I think that's great. And then you join it, and it's way more than you know. It's way, way more than it just shows itself to the public to be. I don't know. I could go on and on about it for hours, but there's so many amazing people involved. And I want to go to the conventions. I want to go to the I just want to go. I want to go to these meetings. I want to go to these conventions. I want to see history in the making. And I want to be a part of that history. I want to make my family proud. Like being a first generation student is very daunting in that sense, because you get thrown into this whole new world that you don't know about, and your family also doesn't know about it. It's crazy. It's like, hey, here's this thing that no one's ever done before in your family. You get to live with another person you don't even know. You get to stay up at all hours of the damn night. You get to do class, but not every day. It's every other day. And even then, you don't even have to go. There's no obligation. But it kind of is an obligation because you're paying for it. It's like that. It's like a very different experience. And it's going to be different for everybody, first gen or not. So whenever people back home ask me, what's college like I have like 12-year-old cousins. They're like, what's college like? And I'm like, honey, I don't know what it's going to be like for you, but right now for me, I'm in a weird place. I'm simultaneously busy and not busy. I get my work done and I also don't get it done on time. I go out to Walmart at 2-3 in the morning with my roommate. I stay up watching videos. I walk around campus. At like in the middle of the night, and then I go to class, and then I do this, and then I go to parties, and then I don't go to parties, and then I have periods where I don't want to leave my room, and it's just insane. There's so many intense situations here, and they're heightened only that because of the fact that I'm not home. And I think it's gonna fade the further in I get. But I'm so insanely grateful to be here. I may not always recognize that because I'm dramatic as hell. But I'm so grateful to be where I am. I'm excited to be where I am. This is new territory. I am very stuck between wanting to stay home and work because I miss my family, but also wanting to be out here, but not wanting to be here specifically, like wanting to go to Austin, wanting to like get a job there and travel. I want to travel. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do so many things. And I think this is like a great starting point to doing those things, because while I'm still young, I want to travel. I want to go to concerts. I want to have experiences that I've never had before. I want to talk to them. I want to talk about them with my family. I want to talk about them with my future family if I decide to get in that far ahead. And like, I want to live a full life, because there is an Oscar Wilde quote that says, to live is the rarest thing in the world. Most of us just exist, that is all. and I want to live. I don't want to just exist. And maybe that's like a very millennial / Gen X thing to think, that you only have now, and now is the only time to be alive, and you're young, and let's go party, and let's go get fucked up, and I don't know, take trips to places we can't afford. But I genuinely believe that I can have a full life and still feel content at the end with what I have, with my family, or with myself, with my significant other. Those are things that I think I can achieve. With my career, I didn't even say that. Like, that's one of the principal things that I want to get worked out before I even think about having a family. But yeah, I want those things so badly. And I think these are the crucial steps to getting there. Yeah, and I'm excited about it. I'm so excited. I say that a lot. I say a lot of things, and I repeat myself, like, oh, that's so cool, and that's so amazing, and there's so amazing people. Like, I say that stuff a lot. But yeah, I really needed this push to do something, because being put in stressful situations is oddly how I work best. And that sounds so bad. I should probably adjust the way that I approach things professionally from now on, but it's so fun to see how I work under pressure, especially coming into this semester, trying to redeem myself from last semester, and finding out that my grandfather passed away in Mexico. Like, I know it's like a jump, a weird point to get to, but yeah, I lost my grandfather, and that was one of the hardest things. That is one of the hardest things I'm facing right now, because it just came so suddenly, and I didn't even really give myself time to process it. And I just knew that I had to get through this. And with the support of my family, with the support of my friends, I miss him every day. But it's garnered a new motivation for me to finish school so I can make him proud. Because I know that that's going to make him proud, as long as I'm working for what I want to and doing what I believe in. I can make him proud, and that's really important to me. And I miss him every day. I miss my dad every day. I try to talk to him as often as I can. But my grandfather, he meant a lot to me in ways I didn't even understand. Like, there's always elements of him everywhere, and I started noticing them. And it's so odd how things work in that way, where you lose a loved one and then you see them in everything that you do. Like, he smoked cigarettes, or he was trying to quit, but he still had like the smell, and it always mingled with his cologne, and it was one of the most comforting, warm smells I ever came to know. And at times I encounter a person who has a similar scent, and I feel safe, which is kind of concerning because you don't know who you can meet out here. But it's just in the little things, like in the way he dressed and the way he spoke. It was like the equivalent to a southern drawl, but in Mexico. And just the way that he spoke and joked, and he always had this mirth in his eyes. He had such beautiful eyes. And I miss my grandfather. I think that's something to process right there in its own. But yeah, I'm definitely visiting his grave whenever I get the chance. Hopefully it's soon. Who knows? Yeah, I am really proud of myself. for getting to this point. Whoa, that's some scary information to receive. Apparently, someone was just stabbed outside of Griffith Hall, which is adjacent to Kerr Hall. And this area, just being on campus when that kind of stuff is happening, that's scary as hell. But yeah, I love my family, I love my friends, I love what I'm going to be doing in the future. Thank you to everybody who has helped me get to where I am right now. Yeah, so I guess that's the end of my first podcast. Not bad. Bye.